Hello, everyone. I want to talk about worksheet number 2, which is lettering by hand. Um, what I did here is first took a piece of vellum, 11 by 17, of course, made sure it's straight with your straight edge and your triangle, taped it down with your drafting tape or your dots, and create the border with a 2H lead, straight and precise level. And this exercise is going to be about freehand lettering. And we're going to be doing a row of 1/8" high lettering, 4 rows of 1/8" high lettering, 4 rows of 1/4" high lettering, and 4 rows of 1/2" high lettering. I already did my tick marks here on the side because it's going to be an 1/8" high lettering for the first, with 1/8" in between spacing, 1/4" with 1/4" in between spacing for the second row, and then 1/2" lines, 1/2" spacing in between. So let's just go through this scale again once more. So we'll focus in here. So the first row of letters is going to be 1/8" high, so 0 to 1/8". The second row is going to be 1/4" right there. And then last but not least, the third row is going to be 1/2" high lettering. So 1/8, 1/4, and then 1/2". I created the tick marks already here at the top. And now I'm going to draw my guidelines. I just drew one line at the top just to get started, making sure that I'm able to fit all the rows. But again, make sure your pencil's sharp here for this exercise because all our guidelines are light. I repeat, all our guidelines are light. They're not heavy lines. They're just guidelines for when we letter and we number. So I'm just going to create some guidelines here, lifting up my pair line, and there's just going to be a bunch of guidelines. Light, going across, spinning the pencil once, light, bring it down to the next tick mark. You're just going to be going down the line. These are all 1/8" high with 1/8" spacing between. Right? You want to press down very lightly. Let the lead do the work. There's my top 4. Right? With the 1/4" spacing in between the 1/4" high guidelines. My next set is going to be, I'm sorry, did I say 1/4"? That top is 1/8", sorry. 1/8" high lettering with 1/8" high spacing. Excuse me, losing my voice. And now this next row that I'm doing is 1/4". 1/4" high lines with a 1/4" spacing in between. So let's just run through these. You can hear my lead going across. I'm spinning it, but hardly any pressure, but enough pressure to show the guidelines. Come down. There's my 4th one. There's my set of 1/4". Now let's go down to the 1/2" high lettering with 1/2" spacing in between these guidelines. Light guidelines. You're not putting pressure down. Now these guidelines are there to help us draw our freehand numbering and lettering. If you go above the guidelines, that's okay. There's my last line that I'm going to do. Then I'm going to get into the lettering. So there are our guidelines, really light. you can see then here's the 1/8 inch high with 1/8 inch spacing, 1/4 inch high with 1/4 inch spacing, 1/2 inch high with 1/2 inch spacing. Okay, so now we're going to be doing letters, the alphabet, top 2 rows, A through Z, and then again A through Z, and then the bottom 2 rows, numbers 1 through 26, and then again 1 through 26. And keep in mind the spacing between the letters and numbers too. That's just as important as the letters and numbers themselves. So all this is going to be freehand. So now you can take away your triangle and move your parallel rule or your T-square off to the side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the letters with 2H, and then we'll use the HB. But all the verticals as straight as you can, and all the horizontals, like it says in the worksheet, worksheet number 2, with a slight uplift, It's going to take some practice, but let me go ahead and show you how I do it. So I'm going to go through the alphabet here. So A, B, C, D. There you go. And then the numbering, you're going to do another row of alphabets, of the alphabet. And then the third row is going to be numbers, 1, 2. You can see that I'm going above the lines a little bit, and that's okay. They're there to guide you. Let's go to the 1/4 inch. You can see it's a little bit harder to control when there's more space, right? Trying to do my best to do the verticals as straight as I can. All right, and then the numbers at 1/4 inch. Go at your own pace. I'm going a little bit quick here for the video, for video purposes. And I'm skipping some lines. There's the 1/4 inch, and let's go to the 1/2 inch. I'll do my letters first. Hard to control that 1/2 inch sometimes. Now I'm going to come in and do HB. Let me sharpen this HB a little bit for you. And you're going to see that, do the numbers down here. 1. I don't know if you, oops, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, I know how to number, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can see that the lead is softer and it's darker. That's HB. you can see there's a little ghosting going on there. It's not solid, right? So that could happen. But so let's fill up the rows. It's gonna take a little practice. You're doing this all freehand. Try to keep your verticals as straight as you can and going left to right on a slight uplift. If you're a lefty, you're going to be repeating all this, or mirroring it, I should say, not repeating, mirroring it. Make sure your guidelines are very light. 1/8 inch high with 1/8 inch in between, 1/4 inch high with 1/4 inch space in between, and then down here, 1/2 inch high with 1/2 inch space in between. Now you notice the 26 didn't fit all the way across. Of course, I had to wrap, and you can continue, or if you want to make another line to finish the numbers 1 to 26. Pretty straightforward, but again, neatness is key. One thing, if you want, here's a tip: take some trash paper. If you don't want to disturb the work you did above, show this a little bit better. Oh. Let's cut it the way we should cut it, right? A lot better. You can always take this top portion so that you don't smear it while you're working down below, to the left or right. It's nice to just cover your work. But that's the lettering exercise. Worksheet number 2, lettering and numbering.